Have you ever started an anime thinking, yep, this is going to be the main character's journey, and then 6 episodes later, you're sitting there wondering, wait, why am I more excited to see the guy who showed up for 3 minutes? Yeah, anime does this all the time. It's almost like the writers hand us a protagonist, and then somewhere in the background, they accidentally create a walking, talking masterpiece. You keep waiting for the main character to return to the spotlight, but your brain is like, no thanks. Where's that white-haired menace? Where's that silent captain? Where's that weird detective sitting like a human pretzel? Before you even realize it, you've completely switched teams. And honestly, that's one of anime's greatest magic tricks. Here's the thing though, there's a reason this keeps happening. And no, it's not because anime fans have bad taste. There's something structural going on, something baked into how these stories get built. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll never watch a main character the same way again. So today, let's celebrate the spotlight thieves. The characters who walked in as supporting cast and walked out owning the entire fandom. Let's start with the biggest thief of them all, Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. Poor Yuji, seriously. He's a perfectly good protagonist, kind guy, ridiculously strong, morally sincere. The story absolutely belongs to him. The audience? Yeah, they had other plans. Gojo basically became the face of anime in the 2000s. In the 4th official weekly Shonen Jump popularity poll, out of a total of 264,298 votes cast, Gojo alone pulled in 113,392 of them. That's over 42% of the entire vote in a series with dozens of characters. It's not a win. It's a landslide. Everything about him clicked. The white hair, the 6 eyes, infinity. And then that one simple line.
I'm way too strong for him.
Most characters brag. Gojo just states a fact so casually that it somehow becomes cooler. What's even funnier is that he isn't obsessed with proving how powerful he is. He's almost bored by it. That ridiculous confidence became an entire personality. Even creator Gege Akutami publicly and repeatedly expressed frustration with the character and eventually killed him off. Did it help? Not even a little. If anything, fans only realized how much the series depended on his presence. Once Gojo disappeared, something just felt quieter. Next comes the world's cleanest killing machine, Levi Ackerman, from Attack on Titan. Now yes, Attack on Titan revolves around Eren Yeager. His journey goes from victim to something much, much bigger. But ask a lot of fans who their favorite character is. It's the short captain who apparently loves cleaning supplies more than most people love their families. This man climbed out of an underground slum and became humanity's strongest without Titan powers. Just skill, pure technical mastery. Meanwhile, he kept losing the people closest to him over and over again. Yet every single time, he showed up. That's what makes Levi different. Eren changes dramatically throughout the story. Levi stays consistent. By the end, Levi becomes the one standing against Eren's rumbling, and he ends up feeling like the moral center of the story. Attack on Titan may carry Eren's name, but for many fans, its soul belongs to Levi. Now let's talk about Hunter x Hunter. Poor Gon Freaksis. Imagine being the main character and still getting outshined by your best friend every single time. Killua Zoldyck. Everything about Killua feels carefully crafted. He's the heir to an assassin family. His brother literally implanted a needle into his brain that forced him into psychological retreat whenever danger became overwhelming. Fantasy setting. Horrifying abuse. Then Gon enters his life. Their friendship becomes Killua's emotional anchor. What's beautiful is that his development never magically erases his trauma. Instead, he learns to live around it. Even his Godspeed ability reflects that journey. Instead of existing to assassinate people, it becomes a technique meant to protect. That's why Killua never feels like just a sidekick. He feels like a protagonist who accidentally wandered into somebody else's anime. Speaking of stealing entire shows, here's L from Death Note. Death Note tells you it's about Light Yagami. Fans politely disagree. On one large-scale fan ranking with more than 7,000 votes cast across the fandom, L sits at the very top of the character list, with Light trailing in third, behind Ryuk. Imagine losing to the Death God who mostly just eats apples. But honestly, it makes sense. Light is fascinating because watching him is like watching a slow-motion disaster. L, meanwhile, is endlessly entertaining. He's a genius who constantly eats sugar, crouches on furniture like gravity has different rules for him, and somehow manages to hold a phone in the strangest way imaginable. Despite all those quirks, he's also one of the few people genuinely trying to do something admirable. Those little eccentric habits make him feel human. Light's brilliance often feels emotionally empty. L's brilliance feels alive. Notice something strange? None of these characters are carrying the story. Not one of them is the one explaining the world, driving the plot, or holding the theme together. And that's exactly why they can steal it. Now let's enter Naruto. The very first popularity poll Weekly Shonen Jump ever ran for the series already gave away the ending. Kakashi Hatake took first place with 22,692 votes. Naruto Uzumaki, the actual main character, came in second with 16,729. Your own teacher beating you in your own series? In the very first poll of your entire career? Ouch. And Kakashi didn't stop there. He remained a fixture near the top across nearly every poll that followed for years. Why? Because Kakashi mastered something incredibly difficult: restraint. His tragic past involving Obito, Rin, the Sharingan, and the Third Shinobi World War wasn't dumped on viewers all at once. Kishimoto revealed those pieces slowly across years. Kakashi never needed dramatic speeches about suffering. He simply carried that pain into every scene. He walked into a room, said 5 words, read his book, and somehow became everyone's favorite. Sometimes less really is more. Now let's visit My Hero Academia. Kohei Horikoshi spent years writing Deku into the best version of himself. Fans looked at all that effort and basically said, cool. Anyway, Bakugo or Todoroki? Usually both. When the series wrapped in 2024, Shueisha ran a global World Best Hero poll, and the numbers are almost funny. Out of roughly 6.12 million total votes, Bakugo took first with 1,647,611, beating Deku's 1,217,357 by well over 400,000 votes. Todoroki came in third with 630,398. Then, in the head-to-head finale between the top 3, Bakugo won that too. He's topped nearly every official poll the series has ever run, only losing the very first one to Deku. Both Bakugo and Todoroki feel like main characters. Bakugo transforms from an unbelievably aggressive bully into someone who's still unbelievably aggressive. Except now he's protecting people while yelling at them. Character development: Todoroki delivers one of the series' most emotional journeys, rejecting half his own power because it reminded him of his abusive father, only to eventually realize that the fire belonged to him and not Endeavor. Deku keeps the story together. Bakugo and Todoroki keep fans refreshed for the next chapter. Finally, let's talk about Witch Hat Atelier. Coco is absolutely the heart of the story. She's the audience's doorway into the magical world. Then Qifrey appears. At New York Comic Con, creator Kamomi Shirahama lived-drew a character of the audience's choosing. She ran through the options one by one: Coco, Agat, Tedia, Richie, Qifrey, Olrugio. The loudest reaction by far came for Qifrey, not Coco, not even close. Since the anime aired this spring, the discourse has revolved almost entirely around this one-eyed, white-haired teacher. On the surface, he seems like the perfect mentor. Inside, completely different story. His eye and memories were stolen by the brimmed cap witches during childhood. He was buried near a river and left to drown. Ironically, he specializes in water magic, despite fearing water, because mastering it became his way of surviving that trauma. He accepted Coco as an apprentice, not only out of kindness, but because she connected him to the people who destroyed his childhood. He even erased Orugio's memories to protect his own agenda. Yet somehow he continues teaching, smiling, and calmly drinking tea while carrying enough emotional damage to break most characters. Fans didn't just find him interesting, they kept coming back because of him. And now, the part I promised you at the start, why does this keep happening? Turns out it's not one reason, it's 4. 1. They stay mysterious. We never get the full picture, and unfinished information is addictive. 2. They don't carry the exposition. The protagonist has to explain the world, push the themes, keep the plot moving. Supporting characters get to skip all of that and just exist. 3. They get the coolest moments, and only the coolest moments. Gojo, Levi, Kakashi, they walk in, dominate a scene, walk out. A main character can't live at that intensity for 300 chapters. A side character never has to try. And 4, the one nobody talks about, we project onto them. Because we don't know everything about who they are, our brains fill in the rest. Mystery isn't just intriguing, it's a blank space the audience gets to write themselves into. That's the real engine underneath all of this. None of this happened by accident. The protagonist has a job to do. Supporting characters just have to become unforgettable. That's why Gojo, Levi, Killua, L, Kakashi, Bakugo, and Todoroki, and Qifrey didn't just become popular. They became the reason millions of people kept pressing that next episode button. And honestly, isn't that the funniest thing about anime? Sometimes the writers spend years building the perfect hero, then one side character walks in, says 3 lines, to something ridiculously cool, and the entire fandom collectively goes, yeah, that's my main character. So, who do you think stole the show in your favorite anime? Let me know in the comments, because I'm sure we missed a few legends.